Hello, everyone. Chris and Melissa Smith here with Family Brand.
Hello.
Welcome. We are stoked to be here with you guys today to be talking about how to create more connection right now as a couple, especially right now in this time of uncertainty. And it looks like I might be okay. Looks like we were lagging there for a minute, but I think we're good now. Sometimes, technical difficulties, but we just keep rolling with the punches. We're really excited. I think some of you may have seen that we've got our family values in our culture wall from Gaping Void, a really amazing company. We don't have all of them displayed yet, but we have 3 of them up today that we thought are relevant to the conversation. Our family vision statement, which is we are committed to elevate and inspire. Pick up the pen. Tell us about pick up the pen, Melissa.
Pick up the pen was actually something Chris started talking about in his business, The Campfire Effect. It's just the idea that you are the author of your story. No matter what your stories looked like before, you can be the author of what happens going forward.
And then we have Smiths are creators, and the similar ideas that we can create or we can complain, but we can't do both. And so we thought these were relevant today because we are hoping that with our intention with this Facebook Live is to elevate and inspire couples and families and really show maybe that you really have an opportunity right now to pick up the pen and create anything you want in your relationship, in your marriage, in your connection with your kids, and that you can create it. And today we're going to start talking specifically about couples, because I just know that right now, a time of uncertainty, look, it's challenging. There's challenges all the time as a couple and with a family and having children, especially you throw in that everyone's now like homeschooling. Everyone is now responsible for 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, 21 meals, plus your businesses. And it'd be really easy to let this right here fall by the wayside, and probably justifiably so. So there's some.
Also, to add that, at first being in quarantine was, for me, it was like, oh, this is fun and exciting. But now also it's like, maybe it's starting to drag on. Like, it's not as exciting as it used to be. So we just want to inspire you to just look at the opportunities you have again, maybe give you some new ideas and pump some excitement and energy into your life again, and specifically what you want to create in your relationships as couples and your family.
Yeah, and one of the things that we actually find is interesting is that families are together now more than they ever have been, and yet at the same time some more disconnected. And you're hearing these stories of like domestic violence on the rise. You're hearing these stories of divorce rates going up. And so there's totally a tremendous opportunity to have that be different, and it comes with some intentionality. So Melissa and I have kind of talked about what has worked for us in staying connected right now. And we have some things that we've done, and we're just going to dive in and share some really tactical, practical ideas. And we'd love to have any questions that you have, anything that you, and I apologize if the audio wasn't great at the beginning. I just realized that my headphones were plugged into my microphone. And so you might've been hearing us a little bit through that. So I hope you guys have been able to hear us okay. So Melissa, what do we want to start with?
I don't know. Well, after our last live, we wanted to share these tactical things, and then we got off and we're like, we forgot to share all of them. So today we were like, okay, we're gonna come on again and really share. Like, the whole thing is just gonna be things that we have actually implemented into our lives. And going off the backstory of what we shared in our last live about how 10 years ago Chris and I were separated, and really seriously talking about getting divorced, we since that time our marriage is like super important to us, and we know what happens for us when we don't actively invest in it, with time and just bandwidth, like mental bandwidth, like dedicated to our marriage. And so it's always been important to us, and we know now it's even as important or even more important than ever to continue doing that. And the first week that quarantine started, I found that we weren't being intentional about it, and things just weren't working as well for our family. We were, we were adjusting like everyone was, and Chris was doing work he moved his office into our bedroom, and we were all in the house, and we don't have a large house. We have this awesome house, but we intentionally want to keep it kind of small. And so we were all just like crammed in here on top of each other, and it was challenging. He would be like locked in our bedroom the whole day, and we'd meet a little bit in the evening to like cross paths, and it just wasn't working. So since that time, we've been super intentional about, okay, that didn't work. We need to get on the same page. What are we going to do to create connection between us?
Yeah, and I think even one of the things that I want to talk about with this whole connection series, and please, like, if you're watching this, start a watch party, share this with your friends. Like, the only way we're going to help a lot of families is if we have, people helping us. So start a watch party so that you can share this live or share this with your friends. Invite them to, come on familybrand.com and put in their contact information, like the Family Brand Facebook page, so they can follow our series. But the whole purpose of the connection series is to have families be more connected. And there's like kind of this distinction between connection, but like really, I think what we all want is I just want to be connected to Melissa. I want to be connected to my kids. I want to feel connected, to myself. And so, yeah, I'll share the first one that, this is one we're pretty good at, but we just consistently, but we've also noticed specifically in the time of the quarantine, and that is, Melissa and I probably 5 to 6 days a week, we get up early before the kids and work out together. And there's just something magical about that time. It's almost like we create this mini date every morning where we get to talk about whatever we want to talk about with no interruptions. Not to mention just the fact that it just feels good to get up and move, and all kinds of research. And Dr. Anthony Balduzzi actually talked about that yesterday on the Connection series, the power of movement, moving individually in a family, but then the power of moving together as a family. And so I think for me, what I've realized is not only do we get connected first thing in the morning before anything else has happened, but we're both moving and we're moving together, and it almost just creates this movement together, like that we're already on the right path, and the day hasn't even really started yet. And we have some really powerful conversations about our intentions and our family, or just fun.
Yeah, and I have some friends. So for us, our oldest is almost 13, so we have a built-in babysitter a little bit, which makes it a little easier to achieve. We can go out on bike rides like at night and leave the house for a few minutes and stuff. But I have friends that don't. That's not a luxury that they have, and so I just want to again challenge you to just get creative. Like, you can, sometimes we'll do workouts like in the backyard, or maybe we'll like run up and down our street, but there's still possibility there, no matter where you are.
Yeah, and right now during the quarantine, well, the only place you can work out is home, right? So it's just, it could be a routine that you get into now that even when the quarantine's over, you can start doing it at the gym, or, like Melissa said, that if you don't have that luxury of having, a child old enough to stay home with your kids, there's things you can do to figure it out. But that's just one thing for us that has really made a difference, is working out together in the mornings.
And Chris is usually the one that's the one that's up first, and I really appreciate that in him. Like, I'm more inclined to want to sleep in longer, but he's always like encouraging me, hey, let's get up and let's get our morning started. And then the days that he doesn't want to, like, we really feed off of each other and have learned to use our strengths to help each other out. Yeah,
and I would say that, I would say in my experience, in every marriage, there's one person in the marriage who's probably more willing and likely to get up. Well, like, there's been times where I've been like, look, if you're not going to wake yourself up, like, I'm not going to wake you up and push you and motivate you, which is not useful. But it's like, no, I can do that for our marriage. Like, because Melissa does so many more things than I do along those lines in different areas. But if you're that person that is the person that is more likely to wake up early and be driven to wake, like, just take that on as like a service to the relationship and the marriage, and be the one, and don't like be disgruntled about it. And if you're the person that doesn't wake up early and isn't the one motivated, don't get mad at them for like trying to help in the mornings, but just like work together. And yeah, I've learned that the hard way.
For learning.
Another thing is, we have created an hour together each day in our schedule, and that's right now. So the reason we were able to go live today at 11 is that's already built into the schedule. So every day at 11 for us, we've gotten to an agreement with our children, and our oldest kids, play with our youngest kids, and they have play time, and we've created an hour, and that hour is so important for us to talk about, really right now, a lot about Family Brand. and just again, an opportunity. We've connected in the morning in the workout. We connect it every day at 11. Anything else you'd say about our daily hour that's built into the schedule?
That we've really tried to encourage our family to approach this like a team. And so they're on board to be playing with each other right now during this time so that we can have this time to work on family brain. But it's been a creation that we created with them. And that's really been helpful.
Yeah, we enrolled them in it, and that's, I think, I love talking about enrollment in Campfire Effect, that business, but I believe that enrollment applies just as much, if not more, to families. Like, not just saying, hey, we're gonna do this at 11, you have to watch the kids, or we have this expectation. No, like, let's enroll them into the vision of why that would be useful for us, as their parents, and for the whole family, and why that time is, we need that time, and getting into an agreement around it. And if we had the intention of spending an hour together each day during the day, it would not happen if it wasn't built into the calendar, is what I've realized too. Yeah. Like, it's in my phone, time's blocked. So another one for us has been nightly walks or bike rides. Melissa said that the bike rides had changed her life. So I'm going to let her speak to the nightly bike rides.
They probably actually really have. Because like the first week of quarantine, like I alluded to earlier, was super hard for me. I just felt like the days drug on forever, and everyone's adjusting. But it was hard. So I was trying to be understanding of everyone, but there was a lot of bickering and fighting, and the days just lasted forever. So we started going on bike rides. We fixed up our bikes. We've had bikes for forever. Have we ever gone on a bike ride before? No,
that's like the craziest thing about some of the blessings of the quarantine is like, oh, we have bikes. Oh, and we can ride them. And we all of our bikes, and our kids had flat tires, so we ordered tubes off Amazon. We were able to teach our kids how to change a bike tire.
That was before Amazon shipping was
harder. And I was telling my kids, like, it was so fun to share stories. I was like, hey, do you guys realize when I was a kid, I could get on my bike in the morning in the summer and I just leave for the whole day and come home at night? And they're like, what? Like, well, how? Like, but would you check in with grandma on your cell phone? I was like, we didn't have cell phones. Like, it's just, it's just wild. But just to be able to kind of relive some of that. We've done a lot of family bike rides, which have been fun, but the nightly bike rides have been awesome.
The bike rides, they just get me out of the house and get me in conversation. Another thing, kind of the same thing, again, if you couldn't leave the house and go on bike rides, is we will just walk up and down our street, just depending on sometimes we walk up and down the street like 5 times, and sometimes it's just once. But something about being outside and being in movement with each other, we have the best conversations and the best connection.
It seems like our best ideas around our family and our business actually come in our nightly bike rides or our nightly walks. And it doesn't, again, it's just a commitment that every night we're going to do something. And sometimes it is like we're exhausted and we walk the dogs like halfway up the street and back, but it's just getting out.
Something that I think would lead into that, so that's like our nightly routine, is we'll either go on a bike ride, walk the dogs, we'll come home, and then we always go to bed at the same time. We haven't always done that.
Last few years we've been way better.
Yeah, but that for me feels important that we go to bed at the same time. And then something that we've just been doing the last few months that I really like is after we're in bed, we kiss 10 times. So it's just understood now, like, we're gonna get in bed and we're gonna kiss 10 times. But I really like it because whatever else has happened during the day, like, that's our point, that we know, like, we're gonna connect. And 10 times is enough to, like, it has to, like, you have to have some intention behind it. It can't just be like a quick, like, okay, see you later, bye. It's like 10 times is a good amount.
Let's just call it what it is. Like, it's a really awesome makeout session
before bed
every night. And it's like, and even the nights where we're frustrated with each other or something, it's just like, okay, like, there's been nights where I approach like, I gotta get the 10 kisses over with. And then by the time I'm done making out with Melissa, it's like, oh, that's awesome. And there's all kinds of possibility if you have a nightly makeout session. But it really does, Melissa, implement. And I will say though, like, the thing that allows that to happen though is going to bed together at the same time every night. Really, like, we didn't do that for so long. And Melissa wanted that. And I didn't see the importance of it. And would find excuses to stay up late and like work or watch like ridiculous YouTube videos or whatever you get sucked
Binge
into.
watch something on Netflix.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so going to bed at night on time. And the other thing I would say is going to bed together on time at the same time has us go to bed at a more reasonable hour than we normally would. It just because we're both kind of reminding each other, holding each other accountable that, hey, we want to get up and work out in the morning. And then, yeah, the kissing 10 times before we go to sleep. One of the things that, another thing that we've really attempted to do, and I'm about to say something out loud that I haven't run by Melissa, so I might get outed right here. She might be like, no, you've not been doing good at this. So I feel like I've been doing better at this. Dr. Sherry Walling, amazing psychologist, and she's actually going to be on the Connection series talking about all things around our children's, well-being and their mental health, especially at a time like this, super relevant. We're going to have her on hopefully in the next week or two. She said something that really made a difference for me at the beginning of the quarantine. It said, like, look, just you need to lower your expectations of your family, of yourself, of your spouse, of your children. Like, no one knows how to deal with this. And I don't know. I believe that probably in every marriage, there's one of the couple who's more naturally inclined to be critical, just by nature. Not right or wrong. It's just, and that's definitely Melissa in our marriage. Just kidding. I definitely have the DNA and the genes to be critical. I just do, and I know it. And it's like one of the biggest struggles for me as a father and as a husband is to really strive to be less critical. And I really feel like, and we've talked about this, but it's been an intention of mine. That's what I'm saying. I'm risking something here because I'm not talking about Melissa with this, but I've really strived to just lower my expectations of myself, of our kids, and I feel like not being as critical has made a difference. So now Melissa can either support that or refute my claim.
No, you totally have been. We've been recording some videos and things, and
for Family Brand. For
Family Brand, yes. One of us is better on camera than the other. It's me. Just kidding, it's not me. And Chris,
she's amazing. She's better on camera than she thinks she is.
But that's like the most relevant example that comes to mind is that you've been very supporting and understanding that, and you asked the kids that too. You just asked our oldest son last night, hey, how do you experience me as your dad? And he supported that too. You're doing great.
Thanks. Which leads that whole one of the things we ask our children often is, how are you experiencing me as your father? How are you experiencing me as your mother? And I would say that Melissa and I've had more of those conversations too lately around like, hey, how are you feeling? Not just necessarily how we're experiencing each other, but just kind of checking in like, hey, how are you feeling? And I just think that's right now, it's always important to check in with each other on how you're feeling. But right now, especially where things can be so uncertain and overwhelming, is like, how are you feeling? And then giving them the space to share how they're feeling. And if it turns into a little bit of a rant and a complaint, that's okay. Like, and letting people get that out.
He did say last night, our oldest, he did tell Chris, you have a tendency to be more irritable in the morning and at bedtime. So like we said before, he's super honest with your kids will be super honest with you. So
yeah, that was something for me to look at. And I was aware of it this morning. And then I'll be more aware of it tonight. I think another thing that's been really kind of, and Melissa's been the one really pushing this, is we're still talking about the future and like what we're committed to creating and possibility. And we've booked vacations during the quarantine. What's great about booking vacations right now, by the way, a little tip, like everything's really, really, really affordable, and all of it comes with 100% refund because, people are understanding. So we've booked airline tickets to, because and I already know that there's a strong likelihood that we'll end up, canceling getting the refund, but it's still like we're looking forward to the future of possibility and vacations, and we're booking Airbnbs, and we're talking about where we're going to go at this time of the year. And so I think that's important to us to have something to look forward to.
Yeah, to keep your dreams alive, even when they're not super in reach right now.
I think another thing that's been really, okay, I just got to be honest, like, I think we've crushed it at home projects. Surprisingly so. Like, stuff we've been putting off for years. And I know everyone's doing that, but like...
comparatively to what we have.
Yeah, comparatively to what we have. And this bar might be really low, so our crushing it might not still be that high. But I just think that has been so... Like, building a chicken coop together in which like Melissa is like, oh yeah, it's like the one time she told me that she brought home this old camping trailer that needed renovation. She's like, yeah, just needs a little bit of paint and curtains. 5 days into that project, and I'm like covered in like.
And it was worse than it.
Oh my gosh! And it ended up being awesome. Melissa sold me the chicken coop like a little bit, like, oh, paint and curtains, like simple little chicken coop. We built like a small home for our chickens. It took way longer than we thought. It was so fun to do together. Like, I was so connected to her during that. We were talking and having fun conversations, and every night we'd come out and like just stare at our chicken coop, like, oh, look at that creation, like super proud of it. And it's just been fun to now enjoy it. But I think whatever that is, doing a project together, and trust me, like we've had plenty of like our biggest sources of like arguments too have happened at times during projects. But for us, like it's really worked lately. Just painted some outside walls. We've just doing projects together is, I think, helped us be connected.
Yeah, and with that particular project, the chicken coop, it was fun to get the kids out there too. We let them paint a little bit. The older kids learned how to use power tools, stuff that they had never really had the opportunity to do before.
I think our projects have actually centered around, it's interesting, I hadn't thought about it until just now, but we've done projects together, some of which have been like aesthetic type project, like making the house look prettier and nicer. But I think the projects where we've connected the most around is when we were building things, like building the coop. And yeah, someone could have done it way better than us in a much shorter time.
Faster. It was a 1-day project probably that was like actually a 5-day project.
And then I think about like what we've done to like build our garden, modify the garden, plant the garden, like, what we've done to like really like take care of the chickens. Like, so projects that involve like building together and growing things. And
I've never thought about that before.
Yeah.
Sure though.
I didn't really think about it until just now that like I think that's had a profound. So yeah, I guess what I'm saying in all of this is that there's something in all of this that I think that you could find that just and modify it, change it, something that. And here's what's interesting though is it's finding what works for your marriage. Like I think sometimes one of the dangers in families is like we give this like blanketed prescriptive advice. Like as we launch Family Brand, and here soon we're going to give families the opportunity to come and go through our process and actually build their family brand, like create their culture, their mission, their vision, their values. There's no prescription. There's a framework, right? But like it's really important that you create like the culture that you want to have in your family, that you create the relationship in your marriage that you want to create. Like some of the things on here probably wouldn't work for every couple, except for making out every night before bed. Like who does that not work for? But I hope you see something in here, and I hope, and what's fun is you get to experiment with it and you get to play with it and really see, what aligns for you.
And one other thing for me that I really value is doing different things together. For example, I always like having different date nights. Like I get tired of dinner and movies. So I think right now we have the opportunity to see what else is available to you, even though if you're still in the house. Like I've been telling Chris, I keep seeing these ads for these like couples dance classes like that you do from the house. They're just videos that you watch. I'm like, I want to do that. Let's buy that. Just keeping it like exciting and new and fresh, even though you're still in the same house all the time. Whatever that looks like for you, whatever exciting, new and fresh looks like for you.
So one of the things we didn't say that I forgot that I wanted to point out is that we still do our weekly date. That's in addition to, like, we don't just, like, I consider our morning workouts and our nightly bike rides a mini date, but we have always had a weekly date built into the calendar that we were pretty committed to once a week and had that for years. And that still is its own created, because I think it'd be really easy right now to be like, well, we're nightly bike rides count as a date.
Yeah, we're home all the time together.
We're home all the time together, that's a date. But like we still have this created time. And I think that's, like, if I was I hadn't even thought about talking about this, but I actually think that what has a couple be like experience connection and be more connected is not just when we have like whatever time's left over, but we have created time.
Really?
Like we care enough about it to like, and that we haven't always done that. But like, so now our morning workouts, it's not just like, oh, we'll get up. No, it's a created time our 11 o'clock every day, we've created that time. Our nightly bike rides, it's a created time. The weekly date is a created time. And so I think there's just something special about having that. But so we've done a weekly date every week.
Yeah, I think that's super important to maintain even now, especially now.
I also think too, I hadn't planned on talking about this, but really, I think Family Brand and our decision to launch it right now has had us be as connected as anything. Like, so I guess the maybe it goes back to kind of the projects that you would work on. I think when couples are in the act of creation together, that's like, I don't know there's anything that can have you be more connected. I mean, you think about the literal like aspect of like when you create a child together and you create a family together, like that's as close to like spirituality or whatever you want to say. But I think we've created this business together. We're creating Family Brand together. So there's this act of like created time, but when you're in the act of creation, whether that's creation around like dreams and hopes and visions and vision boards, like which we have up here, or that's literally like creating a garden bed, or it's like creating a business. Something powerful about that.
Yeah.
Like connection is part of creation and vice versa. Thank you guys. We love being here. We feel so honored for the people that have liked our page so far and joined our community, and we're going to be just sharing more and more and more.
But I would say too, I would love to hear, like
Yeah.
I said, I like new and exciting things to do together. So things that are working for you that are bringing you closer together, helping you feel connected. I would love to hear what anyone's doing, and so we can steal some of those for ourselves too.
Yeah, not only just commenting on here, but go onto our Facebook page and introduce your family. Like go onto our Facebook page and do a post on there and share what's working so well, like to have you be more connected. And yeah, please share our Facebook page, encourage people to join our community. We're going to be giving, the Connection series. We, next Wednesday, we have an amazing, amazing guest coming on that we'll be announcing maybe today who it is, but you'll know who she is when we announce it. And, yeah. And if there's anyone that well, it's like, man, you guys have got to feature this expert or this thought leader on your series, reach out and let us know. So yeah, we believe in families. We believe in you guys. And we're just so honored to be on this journey with you. Right. Make out 10 times tonight.